You're listening to the Mastermind Parenting Podcast with Randy Rubenstein, episode 110. My name is Randy Rubenstein, and welcome to the Mastermind Parenting Podcast, where we believe when your thoughts grow, the conversations in your home flow. Well, hi guys. This week we have a clip from my private mastermind. It's Facebook Live that I did, and I was just really sharing during all this Corona craziness, just some real life moments and what was happening in my own family and things I was working on and productive conversations and just a real snapshot into my life, and thought it might be helpful for you podcast listeners. So enjoy. I need a family. I need to set the kids up for some success this week, because really, honestly, I started thinking, you guys, about like what was going to drive me nuts this week. And it was them being on their devices too much, us not having a clear plan, just too much free time. Because even if your kids are lucky enough to have the school doing the online school, they're just not on there. It's not very much time. So they have a lot of time to kill, and it just drives me nuts when I see them. Devices. So I thought, what can I do to set us up for success? So I was about to hop in the shower, and I texted Avery and Corey, and I said, Alex kind of a different deal, because he's 22, and there's lots of opportunities right now with him with all things puppy training. So Alex's own deal. But Avery and Corey are still in school, like actual school, not college. And so I texted them and I said, meet in my room at 8:45 for a little weekly planning meeting. Now, you guys, this is not brand new information to them, because every Sunday I say, when are you going to freshen up your room? So we sort of already had a ritual in place for Sunday night, getting ready, room freshening for the week ahead. So I said, meet me in my room. So they come, we kind of talk about the schedule for the week. We talk about the, daily, and we talk about all the things. And I posted last night on the thread, when I was kind of trying to source you guys and pick your brains, did y'all like the story time? Would you like to see something different? Are y'all liking these morning videos? And so I posted on that thread, this is what the result of that meeting was. And it was me and Scott there, and Scott was just kind of taking notes, because he's taken the Colby and he's a high follow through, and I'm not systematic. So we know our different skill sets, right? So we're writing down all the things to be, and here it is on the printer. I knew I needed to print it up. Get it in writing, and these phone hours will be amended, and this will be posted here this week. Okay? Now, the whole thing, the kids, we were done with the kids we all hung out, and they were probably out of there by a little after 9. So it was like a 15-minute. And when we started talking about it, you guys, this is what I want to say. They would, like, Avery first, she was like, she wouldn't even talk to, the result of that meeting, I just want to be clear. I did not have hunky-dory teenagers being like, thanks, Mom. We'll be meeting Dad on the 3rd floor at 11 o'clock to work out with him and his trainer virtually. That sounds great, Mom. They were like, oh, what? And Avery was just kind of like, they wouldn't even look at us, and they were just dramatic. And then Corey was like, oh, I can't do that. I have class. And I was like, what are you talking about? And so he was, kind of, I have class. So I was pull up the schedule, the Blackbaud schedule, so there was discussion, but they were both like, oh, whatever. I just kept talking. I was like, and I connected it back to a why. I said, I read this thing by Brene Brown, and she was just talking about how, boredom's a good thing, especially for kids, and that there's going to be a detox period, and you have to let the detox period of all the screens and technology and things wear off and everybody's going to be a little irritable and it's going to, but boredom has to set in for creativity to take place. And the reason why it's important, especially right now, is we don't know how long this is going to go on. And we live in this age of modern technology. And if we give in to the quick hit of screens, what we're going to have is a worldwide depression on our hands. So now not only do we have a pandemic, we also have people who are severely depressed, because that's what being on screens is going to do to everyone's brains. We have to get some systems set up, and we have to we have to keep going and create a life within these walls, within this new existence for right now. And it's time to get to work. And so we're going to have, there's a lot of hours in the day to fill. And so we're going to all work. And so once I connected it back to that why, Avery didn't really argue, because I was like, we can't be having a depression on top of all the other things. And so this is for older kids, you guys. For younger kids, it's really all just about your pack leadership. The reason my kids will sit for a conversation, even though they're like, is because I've just been doing this for years, and I Q-tip. Like, there's no rises out of me over BS. Like, it's fine. And if, it's fine if they want to complain, and they don't do that much complaining. I mean, Corey kind of digs his heels in, because they know, like, it's just not going to get them anywhere, because no matter what, I'm going to follow through. They believe me because I've followed through so many times before. They know, like, I don't even have to say, we're going to have these systems, and if y'all don't follow through, devices are gone. For a set amount of time, because I've followed through on that kind of stuff enough times. But that's when y'all are like, well, what? I don't know what to do. Following through is like Lauren asking, kids fighting, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, okay, I can take the TV away from Ryan, but I don't know what to take away from Sarah. Bedtime. Like, the party stops when bedtime happens. And what happens when you have to follow through the first, maybe week? It's going to be terrible, especially if you've been dancing around them feeling any discomfort, and then you have to follow through on, you're going to bed earlier. You know the rules, you broke them. This will help your brain remember. I don't want to! It's bedtime. You get out of the bed at all, you will be returned. There will be no talking. And as much as you resist this, it's going to be a 30-minute earlier bedtime till further notice, so you can show you know how to do this responsibly. Done. That's what I've done for years for them to believe me. So that was the conversation in my home. The other thing that came through my head is, to be clear, we have to, and to want them to stay off of screens all day, to want them to use this time to not get depressed, to see this as an opportunity for growth, for us to do the connection and not give in to the fear and panic, and to make the most of this time. We have to model the behavior we seek. So we want our kids off screens this weekend. They were on screens more than we wanted, but we were all in the family room, and I decided to do minimal. I decided to allow myself to get triggered minimally, and I had a thought turnaround, which is, at least we're all in the same space. Scott modeled working a puzzle. I modeled reading a book. And now I'm going to model decluttering my physical space, because I know that declutters my mind. I know there's a correlation between physical clutter and mental clutter. The way we do anything is the way we do everything. So I told my kids this week is the week of decluttering. It's the week of, we're going to simplify and we're going to declutter. And granted, we're moving in, I don't know how many months. It keeps getting pushed back, probably 6 months. So this is a perfect opportunity for us to start really pairing. That's why I fall so in love with you guys, especially when y'all raise your hands for deep coaching. Because everyone's so interesting. Everyone has an interesting story. And it all ties back to my why of what we're doing with our kids. It does shape them for the rest of their lives. and we are programming them. So, and so what we are doing here, when we're like, I can't do it, they're driving me nuts, they're on their screens too much, la 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 la, and then it's like, and we're shaping humans, So I'm ready to declutter my physical space. I'm ready to declutter my mind. I'm ready to have my kids take part and make it sort of a family project. And more than anything, I'm ready not to lecture them about it. I'm ready to continue modeling the behavior that I seek. So we did have a meeting. I did set out a plan. I will not hound anyone. That's my commitment to myself today. And I'm making the commitment that I am going to, let me think what I'm going to declutter. I've already, of course, started this morning. I started with my fridge. There's the old food that needs to be tossed away and put in the disposal. But I want to do a big project, and I think where I am going to start, I'm going to start in my closet. I have a lot of like crap all over shelves, and I also have a lot of business stuff in there, papers that need to go. I want y'all to, who wants to do this with me? And have a mental decluttering that happens so we can be the people that, and model the behavior and do all the things, be the people we hope our kids will grow up to become. The pack leaders, the calm grown-ups who everyone feels safe with in the moment of a crisis. The emotional grown-ups, right? Isn't that who we want to be? Don't we want our kids to grow up to be able to handle anything and everything, to know they've got it, to have the confidence to do so? We still have a life. We can live it in our homes, and it doesn't, social distancing and all that. There's plenty to do, plenty to read, plenty of areas to walk to. So let's get going. All right, guys. Are you ready to start having productive conversations? Have you been listening to the podcast for a while and you hear me go through my 3-step productive conversation process to solve any problem? And you're thinking, how does she do that? Guess what? I made a really cool resource for you guys. I call it the problem solving one sheet. Okay, it's one sheet front and back, so, take it with a grain of salt. But it will walk you through how to have productive conversations, and you'll practice, and before you know it, you'll be having productive conversations all day, every day. It really is the solution to solve any problem. So you can download it at mastermindparenting.com/problem solving. All one word. That's mastermindparenting.com/problem solving. All one word.